Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you are all doing good. I am going to be live streaming the CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire Episode 2. Now I had actually live streamed the first Night City Wire event and it went pretty good. And I'm excited to live stream this one, of course, see what is in store for us. We're supposed to be getting a look at the weapons in the game. We're supposed to be getting kind of like a mini weapons showcase. We're supposed to be getting some news on those, and we're also supposed to be learning about the life path system, which is kind of the campaign system, or it's a system that has to do with the campaign of Cyberpunk 2077. So in this Night City Wire event, we should be getting some good news. This probably will last around a half hour to 45 minutes. The last one was roughly 45 minutes, give or take a little bit, so that's what I'm assuming this one will be. Of course, they haven't said how long it will be, but they're trying to keep these events kind of short and straight to the point, kind of like teasers. It's just kind of leading up to the bigger announcements around the game, so hopefully it will be good. Hopefully it won't be boring, and hopefully we will get some very good information on the game. I am extremely excited about Cyberpunk 2077, as a lot of people are. I mean, I feel like many people are extremely excited for Cyberpunk. It's not just me and me alone. So hopefully this event will go good, but welcome everyone that is here. I hope that your day is going well. It's extremely early in the day. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, I usually don't live stream at this time, but I have been making a point to live stream the larger industry events like the PlayStation and the Xbox kind of announcements, the gameplay shows, and the information events, and also events like this for games that I am extremely excited for, or that are larger events, or that are larger games that I will be playing here on the channel, which I do plan to play Cyberpunk. It is a game, like I said, that I'm excited for, and that I do plan to get day one. I mean, let's be honest, how many people aren't planning on getting Cyberpunk 2077 day one? I think, still, it's a hunch, it's not confirmed, that Cyberpunk will not release this year, that it will release in 2021, quarter one 2021, just based off of COVID and how many setbacks that has brought to the industry. But obviously it is still on for its November launch date, which if it launches this year, it will definitely be Game of the Year. But I wouldn't mind giving 2020 to Ghost of Tsushima and giving 2021 to Cyberpunk 2077. I wouldn't mind that at all, as I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't mind that. Vera just out of bed live. Well, I usually make my videos in the mornings, so well, it's not really the morning anymore, it's the afternoon, it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, but I tend to be sitting here making videos at this time. I am not never gonna game on day one, too many bugs and too crowded, get on day 3. Oh, true. Well, I usually do that for things like MMOs, because MMO launches are always disastrous. Bless Online, ArcAge, what was it called? ArcAge, the relaunch of ArcAge, Unchained, Temtem, literally any MMO. Never ever try to play on day one. Give it 3 to 5 solid days, business time, and then get back to me on how the game runs. Me, I'm gonna get a day 2. It will definitely be a day 1 purchase for me. You all know what I mean, you sarcastic asses. I should be playing it day 1 here on the channel. That's the plan. WoW was a pain back in 2006. I mean, literally any MMO. Literally any MMO. It's too bad that they don't release many MMOs anymore. MMO is just a genre that isn't given a lot of attention anymore. It's one of my favorite game genres, unfortunately for me. I mean, there's always new and innovative ideas in the MMO space. Unfortunately, a lot of companies just monetize them poorly. optimize them poorly or don't put enough effort into them, and it leads to just a really bad MMO space. Ashes of Creation looks nice. Ashes of Creation does look nice. I'm excited for Ashes of Creation, but I'm also extremely excited for Amazon's New Worlds. That was supposed to be releasing like this week technically, but they held it back until spring 2021 because, of course, of COVID and work-related issues. So, unfortunately, we have to wait a couple of more months for New World, but that will be a game I play as well. I do have it pre-ordered, which I'm a little bit worried about its launch now because of how many times they have delayed it, but optimism here. I try my best. Daylight breaks and the vampire's powers wane. Hello, Rez. You're my newest favorite YouTuber. Love your content. Well, thank you for enjoying the content, supporting the channel. I do appreciate it, and thank you to all of you who are here. I appreciate it. You've got to stream Control with both DLCs. Control didn't interest me, mainly because of the PR that was surrounding it. They literally gave female streamers and female content creators access to the game like a week early, which I'm all for early content when it comes to creators, but literally they gave it to a specific gender like a week earlier than the other gender. I mean, to me, that's a way to kill my excitement for something, because yes, ultimately it's about the product, but the PR surrounding the game matters a lot too, especially to a content creator, because obviously when you're buying a product, most of the time you're one of the first people playing it, not you're not the person watching it that ends up playing it. So how a company holds themselves is extremely important to me. I just turned this background music up a little bit. Obviously, when we get into the event in 3 minutes, you guys will have to let me know how the volume is, but hopefully it should be good. There should be no problems. Technical difficulties, who? I've heard that Control is an okay game. I wasn't extremely interested in it when it launched, or when they were announcing the launch, and then leading up to the launch with the whole females get access first thing, just kind of, I don't know, put a sour taste in my mouth. So I decided to ultimately not support it day one. But that doesn't mean that I won't get it in a bargain bin for $5. Maybe. I hope at this event they don't have the creepy blonde that looks into your soul. She's she was a good host. I just think that people are very what's the word that I can use? People are very critical when it comes to female presenters and hosts. I think that she did fine. I think that she did pretty good. Maybe a little bit too close to her camera. Maybe if she had backed up a little bit, like how I am. Zoom in, Vera, when. Control was solid, not the greatest, but okay, yeah. And when Control launched, there was a lot of other games launching. Like, that was around the time of Jedi Fallen Order. There was one other game, too. What game was it? What game was it? There was another game that had launched right around that same time, so I was just like, I'll pass for now. She was alright. Yeah, she was alright. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about her. She did her job. She was better than some of the corporate shills that have to sit on and give a message that are literally sitting there like this with a script to their face. Cough Blizzard announcements, cough. So right now on the official CD Projekt Red Twitch, they have 64,600 viewers. I hope that this is a good event. I think it'll be a just fine event. I think that it will be just fine. All right, 10 seconds left. When the audio starts, please let me know how it is, how it sounds, if it needs to be louder or lower. That's a good way to put it. All right, we're here. It's Cyberpunk time. Woo! Oh, I'm sorry. I hate this music. Yeah. So one song surrounding the game that I dislike.
And welcome to episode 2 of Night City Wire.
Oh, here she is.
So from us at CD Projekt Red,
Holly Bennett.
About all things Cyberpunk 2077.
All right.
In today's episode, we're going to be deep diving into life paths and showing you a brand new gameplay video, as well as having a chat to Philip from our quest team. Then we're going behind the scenes and taking a look at how Refused to bring the band Samurai to life. And then we're showing you another new gameplay video and
I just
having
turned
a
it
chat
up.
to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer, about just some of the tools of destruction that will be at your disposal in Night City. So let's get started.
You guys can't
Street
hear
Kid,
anything?
Nomad,
Hold on a second.
or Corpo. Which will you pick first?
It's playing on the playback. It's on the playback. A little more? Alright, I'll turn it up a little bit more. There we go. Alright, cool. Oh shit. Keanu Reeves where? She's a good narrator. I don't mind her at all.
What do we have here? Grew up in Haywood. The whole street was my family. Neighbors helped each other out. Thought nothing of it.
I'm pleased to see you have not forgotten your roots.
Born here, live here, die here.
Childhood memories.
Shit.
Hopping buildings. Running away from badges. Iron tasted blood from a split lip.
Motherfucker!
Got everybody fighting for a slice of the street.
Get
should
the
be
fuck
good now.
out of Vista!
If you keep getting jumped, you find some stronger choosers.
Turned it up quite a bit.
Do you want to spend the rest of your days blasting scabs? Or become a legend overnight?
We have arrived. The Major.
Ready to get your cherry popped?
I mean, we knew that there were going to be like gangs and everything like that in the game.
Childhood.
So
Let's see.
Nomads,
Racing
this is
my
the one I'm
bobber
excited
for the first
for.
time through the hills. Oh, and first kiss in the middle of a synth cornfield.
We nomads choose who to make our family.
Fallout 76
A
who?
choice forges strong bonds and a higher duty that stands solid as an old oak.
My family's in pieces. That's why I'm headed for Night City.
Makes you an outcast among outcasts.
Miss this, you know? Camaraderie.
I know. I saw it in your heart the first time we met.
Looks good. This game
You know what I
looks
always liked about
solid.
nomads? Your taste, no, hunger for freedom. Not easy to come by in Night City. Corp's got their grubby claws and everything.
Jeez. Oh, this is the one that I'm extremely excited for.
Have those reports you asked
Ooh.
for.
They were supposed to be ready yesterday.
Yes.
The world's going to tear us apart when the word gets around.
Probably.
The world's never going to find out.
If I go down, you're going down with me. No! I'm not fucking joking!
This isn't a request, V. But no way you're fucked, right? You're the one who fixes other people's shit.
If you're working Arasaka counter intel, you're always fucked.
Today, they got you to zero somebody. Tomorrow, they'll get somebody else to zero you.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's the rules, Jack.
Ooh, look at the lighting.
Gotta have some skin in the game.
Yeah, but you're not on top. Tomorrow, Arasaka is. And you're the pendeja who keeps him there. Work for yourself, live for yourself. That's the only way.
Hackers, yeah. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Cyberpunk 2077. I'll probably go Corp, to be honest. November 19th. Alright. They're still
Philip,
pushing the November
good to see you
date.
again. It's actually been a while
Works
since
for
I've
me.
had a chance to interview you about Cyberpunk. So I think for today, we'll start with a question that everybody wants to know. How does the path you pick affect your time in Night City?
It actually affects your time quite a lot throughout the whole game, but let's start at the beginning, because basically our game
Nomad all
has
the way.
three
Nomad
different
doesn't look
starts
bad.
depending on your life path. As an example, if you choose the Street Kid life path, you have lived most of your time in Night City. you know the streets, you know the gangs, you know the slang, you kind of know what's going on in the, let's say, lower life aspects of the city, which can of course give you lots of good opportunities also later on in the game. But if you start as a nomad, you actually used to be part of a nomad clan and a nomad family.
Corp sellout first playthrough. Oh, 100%.
100%. The Badlands actually valued their family above anything. But for one reason or another, you actually left that family behind. And now the beginning of the game for you will actually be how to get into Night City and how to make a new life there. Then you can also choose to actually be a corpo and choose the corporate life path.
Yes.
And that basically means that you're not at home in the streets of Night City or in the deserts of the Badlands, but actually inside the boardroom, because you rose the corporate ladder of the Arasaka Corporation, which basically gives you the ability to sometimes, read between the lines, read people when they're trying to do business, which of course can give you many nice opportunities later on.
I mean,
so this isn't just
I like
about
them all.
The start of the game. Can you maybe help people understand how this translates into the gameplay?
Yeah.
All of them look good.
So the thing is, we make Cyberpunk a real RPG, and part of that is that you can play your character from the start to the end. And of course, we have these life paths affecting the beginning of the game.
Question mark?
But we wanted to make it so you have your life path opportunities throughout the whole game until the game is over. And as an example, we do that by giving you additional options in dialogues. So I can give you one specific example. And this is a mission where you have to steal a flathead robot from the Maelstrom gang. Basically, those Maelstormers stole that flathead before from a corporate transport. And the owner of that corporate transport, Meredith Stout, wants you to do something else. And this is an optional objective. And even within that objective, we're going to give you some options. So as an example, if you have a corporate life path, you basically know what Meredith Stout is really about. You can read between the lines, and you can get some additional options that maybe actually later enable you to do a completely different thing with the Maelstrom gang. And if you're a nomad, you know exactly some more details about how these Maelstormers would have even been able to steal a robot like that from Meredith Stout, who's part of the very powerful Militech Corporation. As a street kid, we, as an example, don't give you a specific new dialogue option in that dialogue, because as a street kid, you do not have a lot of experience dealing with higher-up people like Meredith Stout.
Okay, so I like how they all have their pros and their cons.
Very well. So later, when you actually talk to the Maelstrom gang, one member of the gang offers you some illegal substance, but as a street kid, you actually know what this is about. You can talk some shop with him, and that might actually make that character like you a little bit more.
So Philip, I do have a couple of extra questions for you based on the video we just saw. And the first is about nomads. So the nomad life path, this starts in a place called the Badlands.
Yeah,
is this
Fallout
somewhere you
76.
get to visit even if you don't pick nomad to start with?
Yes, absolutely. So the thing is, Night City is surrounded by this huge landscape that we call the Badlands. And you can go there whenever you want. So as an example, if you actually do play the nomad life path at the start and you are in the Badlands, you can even see Night City on the horizon.
Ooh,
and
that looks
we want to give you the option later in the game. If you want, you can just take your car and drive out of the city. You can go there whenever you want. Thing is, you might not want to, because the Badlands can be a pretty dangerous place at first.
Open PvP?
Because time has not been very kind to the Badlands. There have been many wars in the past. There's global warming. So most people that do live out there don't really have another choice about it, or are nomads that love this life and are all about it and are very battle hardened. We of course also want to tell their stories, because we want to tell many different stories throughout the cyberpunk genre, which means that you will also find missions that lead you out in the Badlands or where you deal with the people living there.
So Philip, can you tell us a little bit more about the character Padre? He's the guy we see giving his business card to Street Kid V in the video. Who is this man?
Yeah, so Padre is actually one of the fixers in Night City. And fixers are people that work as intermediaries. So if someone who has a lot of money needs a problem solved,
basically
they go to a fixer.
open world
and
survival
a fixer then finds
2077.
people who can solve that problem. And these people are people like you, the cyberpunks. Fixers are very territorial. So Padre specifically works from Haywood, which is where you as a street kid grew up in. So you already know him. You might have already seen another one of our fixers who is called Dexter Deshawn, and he works in a different part of the city. So specifically Padre, you might know him as a street kid, But even if you played other life paths, you might sooner or later meet him because he's operating in Haywood, which is a pretty big place with many good jobs. So if you want to make some cash there, you will sooner or later deal with Padre.
Philip, thank you so much for joining us.
Sounds
now,
pretty
my first
good.
playthrough, pretty sure I'm going to be picking Nomad. But for those watching, we would love to know what you'll be picking.
Not me.
So have a think about it and send us a tweet.
Not Nomad.
Don't forget
First
that later
playthrough.
in this episode, we're going to be showing you another new gameplay video and having a chat to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer.
Literally
about
chat.
Some of the
The
tools
Twitch
of
chat with
destruction
100,000
to the
people
actual disposal in
blowing
Night
up
City.
with Corpo.
But before that, let's talk about music.
Guess
Because
it's not
music
just
plays
me.
a huge part in bringing Night City to life. Now, in future episodes, we're going to talk about things like radio stations and even the original score. But today, we're going to take a look
wait
behind
for
the
that
scenes
episode.
at how Refuse to bringing Johnny Silverhand's band Samurai to life.
All right. Johnny Silverhands.
I wouldn't write these lyrics for myself.
Yeah, chat is literally blowing up with Corpo.
So it's kind of interesting to get into like the mindset of who is this character and what.
I haven't listened to too much of the
what's their
music
agenda.
that they've been launching, but I should get around to it, definitely.
It's interesting to try to like catch a language that's his and try to catch a language
there he
that's
is.
like part of this game. There is a reason why we're here.
The music in this game better be spot on. I think that it will be.
He knew Refuse and he knew
But
my
it better
voice. And he
be.
said, oh, that's a perfect voice for Johnny.
And that they wanted, I guess, a sound that was a bit contemporary from when Johnny's supposed to have had the band, because he's sort of like an anti-establishment kind of guy.
Gonna drag a corporal rat on stage, make him kneel, douse him with gas, then light him up?
So of course there are things that you can relate to, and like just like this outcast and this rebel that's fighting against like the corporals, and that's definitely something that's been a part of my life and a part of Refuse life.
We came out of the punk rock scene of northern Sweden.
He's like the future version of us. You know?
Wish it was all synthwave and 80s rock. Yeah.
So I think it makes sense. I think it totally makes sense for us to be here making these songs about him or for him. You know? So it's pretty cool.
I'm sure that they will nail the music. I just hope that they do.
No,
I really want them to.
But, like wide vibrato.
Especially in such a large open world game. If you don't have music going constantly, it's going to be so dull.
We don't have a different mode than just going all in. So we really work on these songs, trying to make them as good as possible. Then they're not actually our songs.
It's interesting as a musician to play another musician, because that's essentially what we're doing. I mean, we're not here as Refuse, we're here as Samurai. And I'm here as Johnny Silverhand, you know? So it's like the voice we're representing here is someone else.
We'll never fade away!
It's been a mind fuck.
Okay. All Sweden. These little tiny houses in Sweden. Charming. Falling asleep.
I mean, the shouting in itself is just like second nature to me, because I've been doing this for a very long time. But then when someone comes in and says,
I'm happy with everything except for Azza Lynn. Again, it's Azza. Azza. Okay.
the shouting's great, but think of that accent, or think of that like enunciation. It's a bit weird because it's a very different way of singing when you're screaming like that, and it's hard to sort of
swallowing some syllables there.
Adjust your accent.
Oh yeah, just try it again.
Cool.
So it's been a bit.
I like seeing behind the scenes.
It wasn't
footage like this, especially when it comes to the music. And I know that they said that they were going to do more later down the line in another episode, but
the illusion that
I like stuff like this.
Character that's a character of the game also is me, like when I'm singing it. So it makes sense. But yeah, it's a bit different to have someone telling you exactly how to enunciate things, because I'm not used to. Usually people are just like give me a thumbs up, and then like you think the things like the rhythm, and you think about the pitch, and you think about all these things. But then someone comes in and like, that word sounded weird. I'm like, what? No, that's how I sing. But so it's been a very a bit painful at times, but it's all right.
All right.
Roll the bones, I'm chipping in. Belt that cone, I'm chipping in. Mayhem flows.
It's a very interesting thing to be part of. As a person that's not a gamer, I don't think I fully understand the impact that this might have.
As a person that's not a gamer, he says, gamers only.
Then that's going to be great. I mean, we are spending a lot of times.
I'm sure you can find plenty of musicians that are gamers.
To sound like, but it's like samurai would sound.
As long as they're damn
it's
good.
Quite interesting. It's
That's
a very
what matters.
different way of making music, actually.
All right, Cyberpunk 2077. Ooh, that date can't come any faster.
Samurai tracks available on streaming services. Chipping in, Never
I'll
Fade
have to
Away,
listen to
and
the
Ballad
music
of
that they've
Buck
put out
Ravens.
so far.
But we're excited to
haven't
announce
yet.
a fourth new song called A Like Supreme, which is coming to streaming services today. That means you can check it out once the show is over. Don't forget that if you're tuning in late, or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channel soon. Next up, Pavel and I are going to introduce you to some creative ways that you can solve problems in Night City.
Creative ways by killing people? Creative ways? Okay. Tools of destruction. Question mark?
AV, I have a job for you. A client of mine is making an arms deal. He needs protection.
Okay.
It could get hot. Very hot.
Shit.
The gun dealers on Maelstrom.
There they
Alas,
are.
nothing ever
those
transpires as
katana.
planned with them. You better gear up for this.
Grab a fucking katana. Why would you go for a gun? Ooh. I like that customization menu there. Oh no, is this game going to have a heavy emphasis on shotguns? I really hope that it doesn't. Oh no, literally as all the gameplay footage is shotguns. I'm in for a rough time with this game. Damn. Huh? Everything just looks so clean. Oh, here it is. Thermal katana. What the hell? That looks amazing. I'm corpo with a katana day one. I think the mantis blades are actually pretty cool too, though. I like melee weapons. Cyberware. Jeez. Okay, so basically a bounty hunter.
Are you willing?
Yeah, I'm in.
That looked really good. I wish that was a little bit longer now.
Thank you so much for joining me. Now, there was an awful lot in that video, right? Because it's more than just guns.
There was a lot.
We have melee weapons, we have ranged weapons, we have cyberware, we have offensive cyberware, defensive cyberware, armor. We could talk for hours and hours about this stuff.
I bet you could.
I think just for today's episode, we should keep it simple and let's just talk about guns. Can you tell
I
us
saw
the different
10
types
different
of guns?
categories on that menu,
So
I
we
think.
have 3 distinct types of guns in our game.
I think.
We have power
I'll have to
weapons,
go back and
we have
check.
tech weapons, and we have smart weapons. Now, power weapons are the most similar to contemporary weapons. One thing they can do, which normal weapons cannot, is ricochet bullets off of surfaces. So you can
Ooh.
hit somebody hiding behind cover or
Oh,
hiding
that's
behind a wall.
awesome.
Now, tech weapons, on the other hand,
That's
use
a really good
electromagnetic
feature.
power to propel a fully metal projectile to extreme velocities. What that
Yeah,
allows them
yeah,
to do
shotgun
is to
meta.
punch through cover or
Yeah,
punch
yeah.
through walls to hit somebody who's not even aware that you're there. Smart weapons use guided missile technology to actually track targets in real time.
I don't
So you
know
can
if I'll
hit
be a fan of the
somebody
smart
who's
weapons.
dodging, running away from you, or you can hit somebody who's hiding behind cover.
So Pavel, Cyberpunk doesn't just contain FPS elements, right? It's also a fully fledged RPG. So can you tell us
Yes.
how you guys approached introducing those RPG elements into gunplay?
So I can tell you one thing, Holly, it wasn't easy to merge those 2 elements together.
I bet not.
Now, we've spent a considerable amount of time merging the RPG and FPP side of our game. What the player will experience is that V changes from a small-time mercenary to a legend in the world
No
of Night
weapons,
City.
just
V becomes
fists.
more
Well,
and more
they're cyber
proficient
weapons,
in using
technically.
weapons as the game progresses. So they will see that reload times become
Just
shorter.
visually, this game is
The accuracy of your
stunning.
weapons grows. You will have faster aiming time. You will move faster with your weapons. Everything becomes more in your control, and that gives you more opportunities to defeat the biggest encounters that we've designed.
Do you guys
for
think there will be esports around
So
Cyberpunk?
I have prepared a few extra questions for you, Pavel, if you're feeling up to it.
Of course.
Okay, well the
Sure, at
first
some
is going
point
to
there
be,
will be.
how do you find more weapons in Night City? Like, where will players be looking for them?
So I expect the players to look everywhere for new and exciting weapons. You can, of course, buy weapons at vendor shops, and they will house an entire catalog of weaponry that you can get. However,
I wonder how
the
many
best
weapons are
weapons
in
that
the
you
game.
can
I don't think that
find
they've said.
will be taken from enemies or loot caches that we have everywhere in Night City. The weapons rarities range from
There's
common
22 weapons
through
in the game
uncommon
that
up
we
to
know
rare
of.
and then legendary. And as they go in rarity, they actually climb in power. However, legendary weapons are very specific in such a way that they possess unique abilities that you will find on no other weapons in the game. The players will actually need to make some tough choices to find some legendary weapons, because maybe they need to choose whether to kill a person who holds the legendary weapons that they want, or to spare them because they like them as a character.
So next question, let's
Okay.
talk about weapon modifications. What mods can people give to their weapons in Night City?
We know that there's
So we
supposed
have
to be a
two types of
multiplayer after
modifications in the
launch.
game. One of
I
them
think
would
that will
be
explode.
modifications that we call attachments. So these would be scopes and silencers, and you
I
can
like
see
this
them
customization
actually being
menu.
attached to your weapon as you're playing the game. They give you statistics advantage, and they give you more opportunities in gameplay. The other part of mods would be software mods. Now these are basically small chips that you install in your weapon, and they actually change the statistics of the gun. They can give you damage, they can give you accuracy, or they
Okay.
can give you more
So they're
fire rate.
modifications,
Some
basically.
of those mods actually change
Yeah.
the gunplay on a more
Like classic
fundamental
MMO
level. So they can give
modifications.
you non-lethal rounds, biochemical rounds to tear through that armor even faster.
So I suppose for my
I like that.
final question, why don't you tell us about your favorite weapon then? Which is your favorite weapon so far in Night City?
Oh, there are so many weapons that it's hard to choose
If he
just
doesn't say
one.
katana,
But I can
rage.
mention some manufacturers with their weapons that I absolutely adore. The first manufacturer would be Tsunami Defense Systems, who produces the sniper rifle Nekomata. That's a tech sniper rifle. That means that it can pierce through walls. So you can actually hit somebody who's hiding behind cover or who
mean,
doesn't even know you're there.
that's
Of course,
great.
I also like a close quarters approach. And what that needs is a shotgun. One of the shotguns that we have in the game is Budget Arms Carnage. Now that thing is cast from pure steel and it weighs a ton. However, you can cut a person clean in half with it. Another shotgun that I absolutely love, it's for a more refined approach, I would say.
Refined?
It's a smart shotgun, Kangtao Zhuo. That thing has 8 barrels, and that means it can track
Look at that.
8 targets independently.
Now,
Thing's
killing
thick.
an entire room was never simpler.
Pavel, thank you so much for
All
joining
right.
me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm actually pretty interested to see what
Looks
kind
good.
of weapons people discover when they play Cyberpunk for themselves. Before we end episode 2, this is a reminder
Those
that
weapons,
those who wish
though?
to dive deeper into the lore
Oh,
can now
I
pick
cannot
up the
wait to
world
see,
of Cyberpunk 2077.
like, hours worth of
This is a brand
gameplay.
new book created in collaboration with Dark Horse Books that will give you an extensive look at what makes
Dark
Night
Horse,
City
huh?
tick before jumping into the game this November. That is
All right.
it for today's episode.
All right,
Thank
so
you
that
so
was
much
it.
for joining us. Don't forget that if you've missed anything or if you just want to
So
watch
not
again,
quite a
we will
half
be
hour,
uploading everything
25
to our channel
minutes.
shortly. Thank you so much for tuning
Gonna
in.
show
and
anything
we'll be back
else?
with Night City Wire
That was pretty
episode
short.
3 soon.
Are you really? That's the end? That was it? So, the content in it wasn't bad, but that was extremely short. Like, I was expecting it to be at least a half an hour, and it was 25 minutes. I really wish that it had been a little bit longer. So, I don't think that that was bad by any means. I think that that was a pretty good event. I'll be honest, I think that showing off the weapons in a more cinematic manner is pretty damn good. I think that it just could have been longer, though. Like, if they had added maybe even 5 minutes more worth of gun gameplay, I don't think that people would have been mad at that. I think that people would be perfectly fine with seeing more of the gunplay and more of the customization even. I thought that they were going to show also a little bit more with the life paths. Overall, though, what the event was good. I just think that they could have shown a bit more content in that. I don't think that anyone would have said, oh, you're showing too much gameplay, or, oh, you're showing too much of the life paths, because obviously this game is huge. People are so excited for it, myself included. But yeah, it was a short and sweet event. For all of you that are here while it was live, what did you think of the event? I think that it was good. I am excited about the life paths. Obviously, you all know I'm going Corpo day one. I mean, the chat that had almost 100,000 people in it was blowing up with Corpo. So I feel like most people, their first playthrough are going to go Corpo because they want that tech experience and they want to feel like a hacker man that fights the bad guys from the inside of Night City type of thing. I think that that is going to be the most popular life path. At start, at least, I also think that I feel like the Nomad is going to be big as well, but I really feel like the Street Gang? Or Street Gang. I think that the Street Gang is going to be the weakest faction or life path of them all. That doesn't mean that no one will play it. I just think that it's going to be the weakest just because people want the tech and they want inside of Night City, and Nomad also looks really good too, though. And for the weapons, obviously the katana, from what we saw, looks the best. That katana, the thermal katana, literally a lightsaber, but lightsaber was a trademarked term. Who's not going to find a katana? I bet the katanas, though, the melee weapons in general, like the mantis as well, I bet they're going to be super hard to find. I bet they are going to be the most difficult weapons to unlock in the game. Guaranteed. I do think that this game is going to have a heavy emphasis on, like, close quarter combat, like shotguns. I was hoping that we would have heard a little bit about multiplayer, to be honest. While I think that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be huge, I also think that a component to keeping a game huge is also the multiplayer. And we know that the multiplayer is supposed to release sometime after Cyberpunk 2077's initial launch. So I really hope that soon maybe we'll hear about a little bit about multiplayer. I know due to COVID everything has been messed up. And their schedule has also gotten messed up. But it does say they are still shooting for the November date. It still says that November 19th is when the game is coming out, so I'm feeling confident in that date at this point. I mean, we're in August, almost September. If they were going to delay it again, they'd have to do it really soon. I'm pretty confident in saying that it is at this point going to release in November. I still kind of have a little bit of a hunch that it won't launch this year, but I'm positive, keeping positive. It looked really good. What would everyone's choice be? I see a lot of people saying Nomad. I saw a couple of Corpo, Street Kid. The one Street Kid in here. No. Nomad does look good. I just feel like it's not going to be my first playthrough. Definitely not. I had an instant draw to Corpo, just because that's the type of gameplay that I usually like, is the cyber and the technology, fighting me bad from the inside type of story. But I definitely will be playing all three of the life paths eventually, definitely. Corpo and then Nomad. Yeah, I'll probably go Corpo, Nomad, and then might go Street Kid. I think it was all fluff and no crunch, really. Lots of pictures, nothing to cut your teeth on. Well, the thing is that these aren't... The problem with these events is that they're kind of, sort of supposed to be announcements and kind of, sort of not. So they will give you some information, but not enough information, and that's kind of what these events are, because while these events are supposed to lead up to the launch of the game, they're also supposed to be having larger events to show off gameplay and customizations and also gameplay elements. But I think that for what this event was, it was good. I wish that it had been at least a half hour. They could have thrown in 3 minutes more of gameplay and 3 minutes more of the life paths. I don't think that anyone would have objected, but I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by today. I do appreciate it. This will be up on VOD in case you have not seen it. It will be up on the channel, so you can go back and rewatch it. Overall, pretty good episode 2 of Night City Wire. I did live stream the first one. In case you have not seen it, please go back and watch that. And of course, when they do more Night City Wire events, I will be doing them here on the channel. I will be live streaming them and showing them off leading up to Cyberpunk's launch, because I, like I have said, am extremely excited for it. But thank you all so much for stopping by. If you are not already in the Discord, please make sure to join it. We are very active there. I will throw a link into chat. A lot of first-time viewers on this stream, which is awesome. But thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a great day, everyone.